Everybody in this room is more techie than I am. I am Dr. David Hooper, and I run an AI agency. So if you try and get your head around that, what today is all about is really understanding that a career in digital, a career in AI, a career in technology doesn't mean you have to have this initial foundation of technology, because I definitely didn't. I've got a couple of objectives for today. The first one is showing you a little bit about my journey, this much, but it's a lot of the hard stuff. I'm then going to talk to you about the core skills that underpin a career in digital, but also a bit of entrepreneurial kind of mindset as well. And then lastly, I want us to peek forward a couple of years so you get a real understanding of the incredible opportunity everybody in this room has when it comes to digital, AI, and technology. It's an incredibly exciting time. But to kick us off, this is just a little bit about me. I'm going to leave this slide up for about 20 seconds because I'm the least important person in this room today. But my background is this. I've built a business called Lunala AI. We go into other businesses, bring artificial intelligence into their workflows, into their customer service, into their lead generation, and we completely transform what that business does. We slice their costs, we transform their profits, and we boost their productivity as well. So we completely transform businesses. The other side of me is non-techie. So I've got a PhD in something completely unrelated to tech. So I'm really interested in peak performance, getting the most out of yourself as an individual, whether that's going to the gym, reading books, improving yourself, or getting the most out of projects and businesses and entrepreneurial ventures. The other side of me is that I spent about 10 years across the road at Northumbria University doing some teaching. I'll not mention that though, because obviously they're the rivals. But the main thing I really want you to start to think about is that the guy standing in front of you, as you can see by my kind of CV, didn't have a base of tech. And I've gone on to build a successful AI business, okay? But before we get into this, I want to show you a picture. So I was talking to my wife about this talk, and I said, I'm doing this talk. I'm not quite sure what I want to talk about. And she said, well, what would you want to have heard when you were a similar age? And I've always been interested in the squiggly journey. That means people who've gone on to be successful never travel in a straight line. It's left, right, sideways, backwards, up, down. And she gave me a really interesting idea. In this picture, we're on holiday about a month ago in Kos in Greece, near Greece. And we rented a car for the day. She was driving, so never a good idea. And we're driving around these little roads, exploring the island, and we come to a junction. Turn right, turn left. We said, do you remember how to get home? Neither of us did. We said, I don't know how to get home. We decided to turn left, and we were going down this wiggly country road, and we were getting away from the touristy side of Greece, and we're going, is this starting to look a bit dodgy? Are we meant to be here? The roads are turning into kind of gravel and then sand. But we continued. 5 minutes pass, 10 minutes pass, 15 minutes pass, still no signs for our hotel. We eventually start to see something in the distance. And we're a little bit apprehensive because there's been no signs, no stop signs, no people. And we're going down this road, and we pull in, and it is a private restaurant for locals only. And we go, oh, like this looks nice. This looks really nice. We like our food, But, should we be here? We've taken a wrong turn back there. No signs. Is this private? Are we going to get in trouble? And anyway, we park, we get out, and we go up to the restaurant door and just kind of peek in. And the manager comes out. Incredibly friendly Greek guy. And he goes, "Welcome. We don't normally get tourists over here. Can I help you?" And we said, "Oh, sorry, we're not sure if we're meant to be here. Is it all right if we come and eat at the restaurant?" And he says, "Absolutely. We never have tourists here, but what I'll do, just for you two, is if you come back at 6 o'clock, it was about 3 o'clock when we were there. If you come back at 6 o'clock, I'll reserve this seat for you and you'll see the most incredible sunset you'll have ever seen." We said, "Oh, okay." So we went away, got changed, went back, and that was a picture that we took in our private restaurant, the most incredible sunset. We were the only people in that part of the restaurant, and it was the best part of our holiday. Now, that wouldn't have happened if we firstly weren't brave enough to rent a car. Second, we had that crossroads, that option to go right. We gambled and went left, took a wrong turn, but it very much turned out to be the right turn because that was the best moment of our holiday, incredible once-in-a-lifetime experience. Now, why am I telling you about my holiday? Because my career has been made on those moments, on those wrong turns. I could have talked for 2 hours about them. I've picked a couple to talk to you about today, very, very quickly. So the first one, I failed my A-levels. So I did okay at GCSEs. I then went in to do A-levels in sixth form and got 4, it's called a U, I don't know if it's still that now, undistinguishable, because my results were that poor. That was a moment, that was a bit of a wrong turn, because it taught me a few lessons around work ethic and where was I going in life. Suddenly, I couldn't apply for university because I didn't have the scores. Suddenly, no one wanted to hire me because I didn't have the qualifications. And that was a really big wake-up call. But that wasn't the end of the journey. It was, right, now I can get myself back in gear. And I went on to get a PhD. So if you're struggling at school or college or university, there's always an opportunity to write that. The next one, if we fast forward a few years, 27, I had got my PhD and I got a lovely big job and it was fantastic. And then that organization decided they were going to make redundancies, which basically means cut their staff in half. And I was one of the ones that got cut. Again, another wrong turn where I had a massive setback and that really affected my mental health. But it gave me an opportunity to reorganize my mind and work on myself. I started to develop some good habits, lost weight, developed my mindset, and opened my first business. So again, being made redundant and losing my job was the catalyst to go on to do much bigger things. And then the last one I want to mention is at 31, I had opened my own business and then COVID hit. So COVID completely shut down the whole of the world and I just opened an in-person gym. So I needed people to be coming out of the house into my facility and it shut down. So suddenly again, at 31 in 2020, I was going, I've taken another wrong turn. But 5 years on, I now have Lunala AI, which is changing so many businesses across the UK and internationally as well. That is another great learning experience because all of the mistakes I made with that in-person business, I've now put right with Lunala. And I've learned so much from those different experiences. So have a think about those moments. I have this philosophy around the more you lose, which I kind of count some of those as losing, the more you will eventually win and the bigger you will win. So do not let those challenges, those wrong turns, really set you back, because they are coming. They are coming. Nobody's line is straight to the success door. It's upstairs, it's sideways, it's backwards. Then you trip, then you fall, then you scrape your knee. And eventually you look up and you have this lovely successful door and you think, how on earth have I got here? So keep that in mind when you leave today. But thinking about tech then, as we get back to kind of AI and technology and where we're at, something that digital or AI isn't coding in screens. It's part of it, possibly, but the way we're going now, it's so much more than that. Because when I was in your seats and I heard about tech and digital, I would be really intimidated. Now you've got to remember, my phone at that time was a Nokia 3310. Does anybody even know what that is? Yeah, it was a brick. It was a brick. I definitely couldn't see an iPhone or an iPad, not a chance. So don't allow the thought of, I'm not sure what that is, really put you off. Think about the skills that are underneath that. So if we think about some of the skills in tech, in digital, it's more about being creative, seeing the opportunity, problem solving. And they're the skills that really excited me when I was thinking about launching Lunala. It was about, how do I go into a business that's making 80 million, talk to that chief exec and say, I can save you 15 million. And I go, oh, how exciting is that? Thinking about ways that you could go into a business with 20 staff and say, you know what, I could free up 10 hours a week per member of staff so they could do so much more exciting things than type on spreadsheets. And suddenly, we've got people who are just copying things from spreadsheet to spreadsheet, now doing projects and leading teams and energizing other team members as well. So think about the core skills that you possess and think about where that might work within a specific area in tech or AI or in technology as well. So how did this link for me personally? So like I said, my background before AI wasn't particularly techie. I was really passionate about peak performance, so getting the most out of yourself and as a business. So what really interested me was seeing how businesses worked and then understanding how AI worked and plugging those two things together. And that is essentially how Lunala AI was born, because AI is really exciting. And let's touch on that for a second. You guys are all in a really exciting place. You have a head start because you're growing up with this technology. If we think about what this means, in 5 years, I'm going to make some predictions now. In 5 years, mobile phones are not going to exist. We're not going to have them anymore. What we're all going to have is glasses, and we're going to see on the screen, and we're not going to make phone calls anymore. We're just going to use glasses. Anybody seen the new kind of Meta glasses that have just come out? Kind of like VR type stuff. That's going to be everywhere. That's going to be everywhere. So we're going to grow up with that. In 10 years, we're not even going to have that. What we're going to have is a little 50p sized disc or a chip. And what we're going to do, we're going to have that little chip and we're going to have it stuck on the back of our heads like that. And then when somebody says, can you tell me some information about a contract? Or can you remember where that picture was taken? Our brains are going to just look at the chip in our head and pull that information. So if I get a query at the moment, let's say somebody wants to work with me. I'll say, no problem, I'll get my phone, I'll go to Google Drive, and I'll go, these are my terms and conditions, here you go. In 10 years, I'll just go, you want my terms and conditions? Okay, I've emailed them to you. And that's how the technology will work. Possibly, that's a prediction. But the point is, it's a growing area, it's a really exciting time. And the thing that I would love for everybody in here to take away today is starting to think of AI as a partner. It's not something to be worried about. It's something to use as a critical friend, a AI employee, if you will, an assistant. So when you start to partner with AI, it will 10x your productivity. It will 10x your ability to get jobs. It will 10x your creativity. There isn't a day where I haven't got my AI assistant open and I'm not chatting with them all the time. Okay? Now mine's called Emily. So I have a full infrastructure of AI employees. So I have an AI, Chief AI Officer called Emily, and then she manages 10 AI members of staff. And all I do is say, Emily, can you talk to this member of staff about this task? And she goes and does it. So people ask me, how have I built Lunala to where I have, and it's just me? The truth is, it isn't just me. I've actually got 11 members of staff. They're just AI, and they're working all the time while I'm asleep. So if you can get your head wrapped around partnering with ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, whatever kind of AI that you want to use, you are going to massively stand out. And then lastly, just to kind of really pull this all together for you guys, the path doesn't need to be perfect. I think that's a really key point from today. I have had so many setbacks. Everybody in here has had so many setbacks. Don't let that derail you. You're going to have your heart broken. You're going to lose your job. You're going to not get the job you are desperate to get. You're going to start a business and it's going to fail. You're going to try and sell a product and no one's going to buy it. But it's that relentless pursuit of success that is going to eventually allow you to really go and change the world and absolutely dream big. And then lastly, like I kind of have mentioned, you definitely don't need to be techie to have a career in tech. As we're growing and AI is developing, it's more how you partner with it. I put at the very start that digital meant coding and screens. I don't know how to code. No idea. But my AI assistant does, and I say, Emily, can you just review this bit of code for me? Does that look okay? Great, and I plug it in. So AI has enabled us and kind of opened the door for us non-techies, I definitely class myself as that, when it comes to opportunities in that world. So definitely have that on your horizon as we go. I've just popped my kind of social media on here. Please feel free to connect with me. That's just LinkedIn. I'm sure these slides will get shared around as well. If you've got any questions around your own kind of journey, AI, tech, digital careers, employability in general, anything really, please feel free to reach out. If I can help you, I'd love to help you. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Keep those minds open. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks, everybody.